You still hear me, Matt?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice one, mate. That's all right. Just waiting for my screen to come back. It's all right.
You're back.
Good morning, hello, evening, afternoon, wherever you are all over the world or anywhere in the world, and welcome to the Mountain Chop Challenge presented by Bike Exchange with Mitchelton-Scott. And sitting next to me, albeit virtually, I'm not too sure where Matt Hayman is. He might be in Belgium. I think he's in Belgium. I'm in London. People all over the world. That's the wonderful thing about Zwift. But Matt, welcome to this. This is something pretty unusual, something pretty special in these very, very difficult times, Matt. This should be a lot of fun, shouldn't it?
Oh, really looking forward to this. A race, the chop race, something that a lot of Australians would be used to, the old handicap. So, yeah, it's going to be a great event.
So it's called a chop race. I know it more as a handicap. Before we actually get into all of the action, do you want to just explain the format? Because it's not a straightforward race, although first across the line is the winner, of course.
Yeah, look, something that I grew up with in Australia, and most of the club races were run like this. So we've got 4 different groups here today, and everybody's put themselves into a category of where they think that they should be, and the groups have gone off at different times. So we're just about to start A grade pretty soon, and that's where our guys will be. And we've got 2 of our ladies riding today too as well, and they're in a couple of the other grades.
So just go through, we've got a bit of a stellar lineup from Mitchelton-Scott, but we should also mention that in the C group is Mitchelton-Scott owner Shane Bannon as well. So the pressure is really on. You've got the pros versus the boss. I mean, there's a lot on the line here, Matt.
Yeah, it was a late start last night, and we started talking watts per kilos, and I thought it was a bit late to get him to do an FTP test. So we just went with C grade. We figured that would be good. Maybe if he went off in the first group, he might. He's quite a fast starter, so we'll have to see how he goes.
Yeah, I think the run into the climb on this particular course would definitely suit, maybe should we say, the slightly heavier rider who likes to go off quick, and then it is a bit of a grind to the line. But let's just quickly talk about who's on the grid for Mitchelton-Scott. We've got Adam Yates, Simon Yates, Michael Albacini, Jess Allen, Sarah Roy, and Dion Smith. So it's you've got a pretty stellar lineup, Matt.
Yeah, I mean we've got some good climbing talent there, and they'll need it with that last little turn off up to the tower. And also we've got some guys that can do the job. Damien Housen's shown in Grand Tours before that he can pull for a long time on long climbs, and I'm expecting I guess Dion and Michael Albacini to be doing a lot of the work on the flat at the start into the bottom of the climb.
Well, there we go. They've actually, you can just see along the bottom of the screen here, we've got the lead group. They've only got 5Ks to go now, or they're 5Ks in, should I say. Nice different kits. And the A group containing the Mitchelton-Scott pros have just gone off. So they've got an 8-minute gap to shut. The course itself is around 12.1 kilometres. And those of you who are watching who know Zwift, we're doing part of the Mountain 8 route. Onwardtopia, of course, which takes us all the way up to the epic King of the Mountains radio tower. So it's a flat start. The climb's just started now. That was for the lead group. This is the last group on the road. I think this is the last group. This will be the Group A. You can just see Damien Howson there with that shock of grey hair just moving up the outside. Very distinctive hairdo there. You can just see the group here. Some big numbers going off early on. And they're going to have to...
Adam there, look at that. 4.5 watts per kilo straight out of the start.
Exactly. I mean, I'm expecting them to kind of eat up the gap here. 7:28 is the gap. But the climb itself, Matt, in a minute, we're going to throw to an interview with Simon Yates. But Matt, the climb itself is kind of in 2 steps, isn't it? It's gradual for the first part, a couple of plateaus. Then that final sort of 800 meters to the line is absolutely brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, I have to be honest here. I don't turn off that much anymore. I do really like doing the climb, but it's been a while since I've actually turned left and gone up to the tower. I tend to just keep going straight these days. But yeah, it's super steep the last couple of Ks. And I think that's what will make this race very interesting. Like the line is just there. You can almost see it. But that last 800 meters is going to be a real killer.
No, it really is. As you could just see on the bottom there, we had all the different groupings based on watts per kilogram. That basically is, if anybody is looking at this and is new to Zwift, watts per kilogram is the amount of power you can put out basically over the period of an hour. And the fitter you get and the lighter you are, the better your watts per kilo. And watts per kilo, the higher the number, the better you are generally at going up climbs. Now, yesterday, I actually spoke to Simon Yates ahead of today's race. He's midway through that pack, which are churning along at the moment, some big numbers. So in just a few seconds' time, we're going to throw to a little VT of a chat with me and Simon Yates, just talking about this very kind of difficult time of the year for a lot of the pros now, and for all of us globally, but how he's enjoying riding on Zwift nonetheless. First up, mate, this is a little bit of a strange situation for us all. I'm here in East Molesey in Surrey. You're locked down in Andorra. How's it all going?
Yeah. It's going okay. Today was the first day that it was all the shops and stuff are shut. But I bought plenty of stuff to survive for 2 weeks, so I'm okay.
You're not one of these crazy people who've been hoarding toilet paper and soup, are you?
No, but I was getting worried that when I went to the shop the other day, there was none left, no toilet paper left. I was like, oh, here we go. It's a real thing, but no, I got enough to survive. Don't worry.
In all seriousness, though, we were just chatting before we started to record that. I mean, this is an unprecedented serious situation. So far, how has it kind of affected you, or are you just taking each day as it comes?
Yeah, well, with the Giro is one of my main goals of the year, and that's now been postponed. So really, it's making things a little bit more difficult with regards to just the training side of things, and where to build for the to peak for the events. But otherwise, day-to-day life is kind of the same. I still train, still keep me very fit. It's just that we don't know when we're going to race again. So it's just a bit up in the air, really.
Okay, now it's not exactly a race tomorrow on Zwift. How much do you actually know about the chop race? Tell me what you know.
Well, I've only ever done one race on Zwift before, and the start was just crazy fast. Like I was in the 3rd or 4th group before I even knew the race had started. Right. So I'm expecting a fast start, at least. But I've heard it's a handicap style type of race. I believe I'm starting towards the end, which will make things more difficult. But I'll give it a go and see how it goes.
So I understand you've actually practiced on the climb you're going to be using. It's essentially a hill climb, a 12-kilometer hill climb. There's going to be 4 groups, D, C, B, and A. You're in the A group, and I understand you've got a few teammates riding with you as well.
Yeah, so I'll have to use them as best as possible. I think if it's the same climb that I did today, a little bit of recon. The very first part of the race it's on a flatter road, more of a valley road, before the real climb starts. So I think that'll be more, the point where I'll have to use the guys because once you get on the climb, the effects of the drag are not the same. Just like in real life. So no, I'll have to use them early and go from there.
Okay, so are you gonna literally go flat stick. You're going to treat this as a proper little race because it was only about half an hour effort, but you can, as you know, you can go pretty deep on Zwift, and it will be pretty cool if you could catch the front group, because ultimately, a win's a win, Simon. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, and I'll take as many as I can get at the minute with no racing. So no, it's going to be difficult, especially for me here in Andorra. I live at altitude, so there's not much oxygen going around, unfortunately.
Oh, right.
But no, we'll give it a good go, and we'll see what the outcome is.
I mean, I know it is a difficult situation for everybody. You can take cycling out of the equation and look at the impact it's had on the world, but having this platform to enable you to train with your teammates who are going to be locked down in Girona, in Great Britain, over in Australia. I mean, it's a pretty cool platform in relation to making the best of a very, very difficult situation, really, isn't it?
Yeah. A couple of years ago, or whenever before Zwift, there was nothing really to keep yourself entertained when you're using the home train or whatever. But now it's just it's a completely different world. You can hook up with your friends and ride, or you can do races like we're doing tomorrow. So no, it's really a great tool that we're using now ourselves as a team to the best ability.
I'm going to be commentating on it with Matt Hayman, your DS. So expecting a top end performance from it. Not too much pressure. Enjoy the racing, mate. Enjoy the racing. Great to hear from Simon there, smiling through adversity. But Matt, as we just look at the foot slopes of the climb, we've got Adam Yates just putting out some big power here, picking off these riders so easily. Of course, he's one of the world's best bike riders, especially uphill. But Matt, before we move on to the sharp end of this race, it is a very, very difficult time for these riders, but having the opportunity to keep training and keep the kind of team spirit together is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Look, he touched on a few things there in that interview. One, he's up at Andorra at 2,000 metres, which is going to be a little bit harder for him to put out the normal power that he would at sea level. But yeah, just the uncertainty, I guess, for these guys. They've, like he said, he's been focused on the Giro for many months now, and then the goalposts have been moved. So, this is a great way to try and distract people. And I guess I know better than anybody that Zwift can be a great distraction in difficult times. But what I really like to see here is that the boys are really working well together. They had Alba on the front just before on the flat, and they're quite close together here on the climb.
Yeah, they certainly are. They've shut down already since we played that VT. They've shut down 3.5, nearly 4 minutes. Now, the gap from Group A, as you can see at the bottom, nice and clear. Got some very clear stats there for us. 4 minutes and 33. It was 8 minutes. So I think, Matt, there is going to be a distinct possibility that the A group could catch up and we could have a battle royale between the Mitchelton-Scott riders at the top of this climb. But the pressure's still on. They've still got a fair bit of road to cover.
Yeah, that's true. These lead riders only got 2.5k to go, and our guys are still at the bottom of the climb. So, like I said, I think it'll be exciting when we turn left and hit those steep last kilometre there.
Well, I know from riding out on the road and on Zwift, I mean, once you get gradients above 8-9%, as we both know, Matt, being, let's be honest, slightly heavier riders, I remember in some big mountain stages, you can lose a minute a kilometre quite easily, or even more, can't you? Especially if you really capitulate and get your pacing strategy wrong.
Oh yes, I mean, and those differences in watts per kilo, they really come into play at the end. And look, so even though some of our riders are quite new to this, they'll be a little bit more comfortable riding at the top end of their threshold. So it's exciting. We've got Sarah here in view. It's a bit hard. She's in Group C, but a bit hard to see exactly where she is there. Picking off some riders from the D group as she goes up here.
Well, she's looking very good there. Still putting out 4 watts a kilo, looking very, very good indeed. And that's the thing about this climb on Watopia. It's an expansive world. This particular climb is very, very difficult because you think you get into a rhythm and then it plateaus and it drops down. There's mini descents and plateaus as well to really break the rhythm up. So it's quite a staccato kind of effort until the top part of the climb, isn't it, Matt? It's quite a difficult one to gauge, to get right.
Yeah, look, you come in the bottom there, you've got quite a steep ramp at the bottom, and then, there's a few times there where it really flattens off, and as you said, that messes up with your rhythm. You're kind of just feeling really comfortable at a certain pace, and you've got to go down through the gears and then start again and try and get it and hold in. Most of the riders really like a steady, even climb, but this has got quite a few different gradient changes.
It certainly has. Still looking at Sarah here. She's got the C group here, 4.2 kilometres to go. The A group are really closing in now. I think the lead group has actually merged groups D and group C, if I can get my alphabet in the right order, have actually merged together now. So they're actually one group. Group D aren't too far behind them. And group A, 1 minute and 32 seconds. This is all coming together as we still looking at Sarah Roy on these steep gradients. Still a fair little bit of distance to go, but the C group have 4 Ks to go on this route. So I think the actual total distance is actually 12.1 kilometres. But as me and Matt were alluding to, or suggesting at the top of this show, is that the final part of the climb is very, very steep indeed. The climb to the radio tower, it seems to go on forever, doesn't it, Matt? It's kind of maximum pitches around 17%, but you can see the radio tower at the top, but you're almost going at walking pace. It really is exceptionally difficult, that last few minutes effort.
Yeah. There's a real sting in the tail of this one. I'm not sure who designed that, and it's a pretty straight road, and you'll be able to see almost a minute ahead, just like some of the big climbs in the Giro. Looking at Adam Yates here, look at him just riding through people, up around 6 watts per kilo, and this is what these guys need to do when they're competing at the world's best races, Tour de France, the final climbs of the Giro. They're up around 6 watts per kilo.
It is amazing to see.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm amazed. I can't get near those kind of power. That's the difference between the climbers and the flatlanders. They can just hold this really high power above threshold. Here we have a flat section, like you said, that'll mess up with the rhythm a little bit.
Yeah, like you see Adam just out of the saddle he's using. Adam's got a really particular style of riding, isn't he? Slightly lower cadence than some other climbers. Everybody, we talk about pedaling cadence, that there should be an optimum pedaling cadence of about 90, but different riders have different kind of styles, and Adam tends to use a slightly bigger cadence in and out of the saddle, but he's a very light rider too. Is he around 60, 62 kgs? Without giving too much away, Matt?
I'm not sure. I don't weigh the boys. No, I just know that they're featherweights. I know that I was always, if I tried to do the numbers, when I was racing, around 80 kilos, and when you start to do the numbers of if I need to compete with these guys on a final climb, and you start multiplying 80 kilos by 6 watts, and just no way that I can hold that power sustained. Look at this. He's just slightly going back there, just had a little bit of a downhill, and then just getting back into his rhythm here, back up to 6 watts per kilo.
Wow, and as I say, it will drop down a little bit. It's far easier to generate power when the road is going upwards. The power always drops off. It's difficult to keep on top of the gears when the road flattens and goes down, but then it lifts up again. It really is, as we said before, a difficult climb to get your rhythm in. But this is great stuff. Seeing Adam Yates, or he's got Damn Yates there. I like the way he's played with his name there. Almost sounds like a rapper, sort of like Will I Am or something like that. But he's absolutely flying through this group, just holding just a touch under 6 watts a kilo. And if any of you on Zwift, if you have been riding on Zwift, you know what the score is, you know what it is. I think we're just looking at, is that the D group?
I think we found the leader there, I think, maybe.
Yeah. I think the lead. Looks like that the leader might have actually, I don't know if he's crossed the line or not. I'm a little bit confused there, but the D group, it looks like riders I think we got a little bit of distance to the top of the climb here, but that certainly was the leader. Definitely some still pretty classy riders out in front in the D group, but there we go. Yeah, I think we've got the lead group 8.7 Ks and the D group 8.4 Ks now. So I think actually some riders are dropping back. So I think we've got group A are about to catch the lead group. So the D group now are last on the road, or the majority of the D group, C group second, and group A only a few seconds now behind the lead group, Matt. So already they've eaten up most of the advantage that they had to chase.
Yeah, and you could see at the start, even on the flat, such a big A group bunch, and they were all working well together at the start, and they they really chopped away at that time right from the very word go. And they're almost all together now. So, I mean, that's the idea, to give everybody a chance in this race and have everybody come together, and all the groups are mixed together at the moment.
Now, Matt, this isn't events already. There's a whole week of events, aren't there? Mitchelton-Scott, presented by Bike Exchange. They've got a series going throughout the week just to keep them on their toes, I guess.
Yeah, look, if this is not your thing to be racing 12K straight up a hill, either at 7 o'clock at night in Australia or 9 o'clock in the morning in Europe, we've got a bunch of other events almost twice a day, and some of them are more just general rides. You've got an opportunity as well to do an interval session with the team, something that one of our coaches has written. And that's, a group ride. Everybody sticks together, but you're able to do a professional interval session. Or we've just got some other group rides. So it's just a way, the team's been pretty well known from the backstage pass and always valued its fans. And it's just a way for us to stay in touch with everybody while we're not able to race at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a way to stay in touch. I mean, when you think about, to talk a little bit broader, Matt, about this whole very, very difficult situation, when teams have got sponsors that have invested, it's just another way of paying back the sponsors as well as engaging with the fans, keeping the riders fit. It keeps everybody happy. Okay, it's a little bit of an unorthodox way to do it, but we've got the technologies, Zwift have got the platform, so why not do it?
Yeah, look, I think all over the world people are having to work from home, and we're no other at the moment. So we've got some pictures here of Damien Housen definitely working from home today here on the climb. So no, yeah, we very much appreciate the support of all our sponsors, and there's an opportunity here to still be in front of cycling fans, and we're taking that opportunity.
Indeed, I've just spotted Wes Sulzberger there, a rider I know very well, just a couple of seconds behind Damien Housen there with an official win. I think he does actually work for Zwift now. So Wes Sulzberger, an ex-pro, still looking at the stats of Damien Housen here. And there's Wes. Yeah. There's split over to Wes Sulzberger, a rider that we both know very well, still keeping himself pretty fit. 346 watts a kilo. So 336 watts, just over 5 watts a kilo. He's looking pretty good, Matt.
Yeah, 170 heart rate. Used to race with Wes, and he's part of Zwift in Australia. So he's just trying to chase Damien down here, and they're picking off riders from other groups. So this is the nice part, that everybody's coming together here towards the top of the climb, and everybody gets to race their group as well as try and hold on to the pros when they come past.
I just spotted Kim Little there as well. A very well-known racer on the Zwift community up near the front of the A group. Alex West is up. A lot of big names. Alex West there, just on the right-hand side, you can see his name highlighted right in for Canyon ZCC, one of the first actual esports-only teams. They'll be racing this week. We've got a Zwift race tomorrow. There is Alex West, a former Zwift Academy finalist. There's some really classy riders. He knows this climb very, very well indeed. There we go. He's a powerfully built rider. Because of purely the amount of watts he can generate, he's going to be flying up this climb. They are 450 watts a kilo. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to catch. We've still got a little bit of a distance to go. I still think a couple of kilometers to go, and the hardest part of the climb. The average gradient around this part is kind of 8-9%, pitches of 10%, and then there's that horrible left-hander. I can't remember if it's a right or a left-hander to take you up to the radio mast, because there's a couple of ways up to the radio mast. You can come up the descent, or you can come up the climb, or vice versa. But the worst part of the climb is still to come. So riders here, Matt, are definitely going to have held something back. Because if you've ridden this first section too hard and you capitulate on the steep section, there's no turning back, is there?
Yeah, we're just about to turn onto it right here. 600 meters to go, but they've still got to get up to the tower. And there is an advantage. You talked about it's Alex, isn't it? He's raced on here a lot, and there's a big advantage if you've raced on Zwift and you know how the game works. And it just like racing on the road, you need to really work out the tactics. And you can see here that he's just holding the wheel there, just a little bit of a run off that. And now we're going to hit that very, very steep section. Look, it's already up to 13% here, up to the finish line.
Yeah, it is. You can just see on the right-hand side, that's where they're heading to. And having ridden this on numerous occasions myself, it seems as if you're just going at walking pace, and you kind of are because of the gradients. It picks up to around 17%, but there's two riders neck and neck at the moment. A Japanese rider alongside Alex West at the moment. There's a couple of riders just in front who we can't quite see, but West putting in an absolutely fantastic performance. But the big question is, where are the nearest riders from Mitchelton-Scott? That is the big question. They're not too far behind, or they're a little bit of a distance. I think, Matt, it looks as if, given the amount of road that we've got left here I think this is Adam Yates on the road. I think, well, even given Adam's class, the form he's in, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult to peg back nearly 300 or 400 metres of tarmac now, Matt.
Yeah, look, I don't think they're going to get up there. I think they've caught most of the other grades. I can only really see a few A graders in front of him there, but great effort. It was a late call up for here, but not today. I don't think they're going to get up. I think he's about to turn right, so he's a few hundred metres behind as we go here into the front of the race. But the guys are in hard training. They've been called up pretty late for this race, and we always knew it'd be tough to get a one up on some of these guys that are very, very comfortable with this style of racing.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of community riders. I mean, that's the thing about racing on Zwift. It is exceptionally specialist, but so great to see that more and more riders from the road, road pros, are coming and using the Zwift platform. And again, it's just wonderful to see some of the best riders in the world here today. I mean, just a reminder, if you just tuned in to this stream, it is the Chop Challenge, the Mitchelton-Scott Chop Challenge presented by Bike Exchange. Adam Yates, Simon Yates, Michael Albacini, Jess Allen, Dion Smith and Sarah Roy, all from Mitchelton-Scott, have started this handicap race. We're just watching Adam Yates at the moment. He is now on the final part of this climb. It is part of the figure 8 course on Watopia. And there is Adam Yates, as you said, Matt, working from home and working very, very hard indeed, even down to that final bit of a detail with the red socks.
Yes, we know that he likes to always have a touch of red somewhere, and he's got the nice long red socks there. So you're always able to just make that avatar, just personalize it just that little bit. And he's just coming up this last steep bit. I know that Simon said that he did a bit of recon and checked out the course yesterday. So if you didn't know this was coming, you'd get quite a shock at the end here, 14%. As we head up to the finish line.
Indeed. We're just looking at Sarah Roy now. She's not too far behind at all, so some great riding by Sarah Roy. She's just taken that little bit of a slope downhill before the kick up to the line. So Sarah Roy's done an exceptional ride here. She is an exceptional climber, as we know. She's got that little race leader or the ride leaders icon just above her head there. Hopefully that might be giving her a little bit of extra momentum. But a good group here. And Matt, it is wonderful to see so many riders turned out to ride, because this is so unique. As I say, it's a community platform. It can keep you fit, but it's not every day that you get to ride, in a virtual world with some of the finest riders in the world.
No, look, and it's a chance to test yourself with them, and obviously it's a short event. Some of these guys, some of our athletes, would much prefer to be racing for 5 or 6 hours before going up a climb like this. But it's an opportunity to ride with them. It looks quite cold up here, but I think Simon said he was at 2,000 meters, so he may be feeling a bit more comfortable towards the top here. When he looks out the window in Andorra, there's probably a bit of snow as well. Yeah,
well, he's just 5.4 watts a kilo here, flying up this climb, just about to overtake another rider. Peter there from the Netherlands is about to fly by, getting rides on left, right and centre. If any of you are looking and wondering what those big holographic thumbs are, basically riders or Zwifters within the community can go online via the app and actually give riders ride-ons as they're riding along. You can do it while you're riding. You're a passive spectator as well. It's just another way of showing your appreciation to fellow Zwifters. But Adam, just coming towards the top of this climb. It does ease ever so slightly before kicking up, and the radio tower is in sight, but he's really pushing home, isn't he, Matt, here? Still holding 6, nearly 7 watts a kilo. One last push for Yatesy here.
Yeah, look, he's going to bring it home. This is a big effort. It's a half an hour effort here. I mean, not something that you're used to just straight after breakfast. But he's obviously, almost 7 watts per kilo, and he's been pretty much at threshold this whole ride this morning. So, great job just catching these last few guys just before he hits the finish line.
Well, if any of you watching fancy trying to match those kind of stats, get on Zwift, get on a climb, and and you'll soon realise, as pretty much everybody on Zwift does now, because of the ability to look at your metrics, how hard it is to maintain these sorts of numbers. He isn't holding back at all, and that is absolutely wonderful to see. But is he having a lot of fun, but also taking it seriously, Matt? Again, it's a mix of the two. Zwift is fun, but let's be honest, it's hard as well, isn't it? Very, very difficult.
Yeah, look, a lot of the guys wanted to sign up for the group rides. A bit more hesitant when you tell them it's a 12K mountain handicap. So, really grateful that the guys are willing to put it on the line here today. And we can see Adam, he's sweating away there. It's really important too to keep the fans on and to keep yourself nice and cool. And you see the heart rates. They start to skyrocket if you're not ventilated enough. So you can see he's sweating away there at home, and he's just about to crest the top here, and he'll be into the finish line. So, yeah, great to see them come out today and really put it on the line for the world to see.
That certainly is. I think he's just finished just inside the 18th actually out of 100 riders. They're just crossing the line there. Adam Yates. So the job is done. I've no doubt he's going to have a nice bit of a cool down. Well, there is the confirmation of the results. Jay Vine Nirokatine actually took the win from Stefan Kirkmare. T. Ickard was second. 4th place for Alex West, who I believe will be racing tomorrow on Zwift as well. And then we've got Ovind Loining-Bjørseth, Noriaka Tanaka, Tim Hedger, and Pico Di Jaga. Do excuse me if I mangled any of those pronunciations. I didn't have a chance to practice any of those, but that was wonderful. I mean, all the community getting involved, and some really, really strong A group riders there, Matt.
Yes, very much so. Great effort for everybody that manages to get up there this morning. Like I said, it's not for everybody. A hill time trial straight out of bed or just after dinner. But yeah, nice to see everybody come out and support us. Here we go back. Some of our other riders still just coming home here. We've got Sarah, who looks like she's in 3rd place in her grade. She's just coming up the top of the climb here. So great effort from her. Still hitting 4.5, 5 watts per kilo.
Yeah, it just shows that all of the riders are in very good form. And as we know, such a shame that the season has temporarily been curtailed, but all these riders giving it their absolute all. And Matt, we've got, as we look at Sarah cresting the top of this climb, this isn't the end. I'm just about to read through a few of the races that we've got coming up this week. We'll just take Sarah across the line. Again, not giving up, still over 4 watts a kilo. Another 100 metres to go.
Sprinting all the way home.
Take it home, Matt.
Yeah, come on. 3rd place out of all the C graders that lined up today, and she's just about to cross the finish line here. 6.5 watts per kilo, 6.5 watts per kilo. A great effort. Really, really, really good effort.
No, that was a fantastic effort. The big question for me, though, isn't so much where Michael Albertini and Simon Yates are. It's where is Shane Bannon? Maybe our statistician and our tech man, Johnny, back at Zwift headquarters can find out where Shane Bannon is. We need to know where he is. Maybe we haven't got enough time to see him finish, but hopefully he's still out on the road and okay.
Yeah, our general manager, I think he started in C grade there. I think Sarah, I don't think he was one of those 2 people that finished in front of Sarah, to be honest.
No.
So hopefully I didn't give him, maybe, I hope that was the right grade for him and that he had a lot of fun out there. So, I'll be texting him later to find out what position he came in.
Yeah, and you need to get him to upload his files so you can analyse it as well, Matt, of course. But as we look at Jess Allen, still knocking out 3.5 watts a kilo. Not be too long before she crests the climb. But no, this has been great, Matt. But I'm just going to list through, if anybody is interested in joining some of these rides. We've got a lot coming up. We've got several events this week. On Tuesday the 17th, we've got the Tour of Watopia Stage 2 Mitchelton-Scott State Takeover. That's from 9 a.m. CET. are 1 a.m. PST and 7. Anybody can just basically join the ride and just have fun, can't they? I mean, there's different categories of ride, but basically that's kind of a steady, almost like a club run type event, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's just one of the Tour of Watopia events, and where our guys go along and help be ride leader and interact with everybody. Feel free to ask some questions, and they're just to be along on one of the Watopia rides where you're getting double XP points this month, or in the next few weeks. So I think it's stage 2 we're up to, and they'll just be helping out there.
Indeed, stage 3 isn't too far away as well, but that is stage 2. There's 2 rides on that day. There's also one at 5 p.m. Central European time as well, and that's 3 a.m. AEDT, although I don't think there'll be too many Aussies on at 3 a.m. in the morning, but you never know, before work.
No, but that's, part of it. We're trying to be able to get some of the Australians that support us, as well as some of the European and American audience that support the team all year.
Oh, definitely. And then we move on to Wednesday, and we've got the Mitchelton-Scott Pro workouts. That does sound a little bit harder, Matt, doesn't it? We've got workouts at 10 a.m. CET and 7 p.m. CET. So briefly, Matt, what is the Pro workout?
Yeah, well, earlier this week we did that as well, and we had a bit of a classics workout there. So that was, we did some 5 3-minute efforts with, simulating what it's like to ride in the classics in Belgium with, some seated power into a climb. And then, so that was led by one of our riders, and the program was written by one of our coaches. Later this week we'll be doing that again. Maybe a slightly different training session from one of the other coaches, and we'll have 2 guys leading those sessions and a number of other riders joining as well.
Well, Matt, before we wrap things up, just go through the last few events, which you can see on your screen. Thursday the 19th, we have the Amanda Spratt Mountain Goat Challenge, which looks like a lot of fun. Then we have, on Thursday the 19th, Simon Yates' Pace and Race Challenge. Friday the 20th of March, the Mitchelton-Scott Mixed Team Race. I believe I'm going to be commentating on that, maybe along with you as well, Matt. That should be a lot of fun. On Saturday the 21st of March, the exclusive Mitchelton-Scott Fan Ride, and then another flat chop challenge, so a flat handicap race, and that is on Sunday the 22nd of March. Well, Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much for taking the time out to co-commentate. It's been really enjoyable. I think I might actually have to get on Zwift myself now, just to burn off the croissant that I had before I came on air, mate. But Matt, thanks very much. It's been a good day. And,
no worries.
And what would you say to people who are maybe thinking about joining these rides? That they should really give it a go, shouldn't they?
Yeah, look, I guess the chop event, there's not a lot of chit-chat in the chop event. That was full-on racing, but, we tried to cater for everybody. So if you want to come along and just ask a few questions, or if you want to do a workout. So we've got a few different times, a few different events. So come and meet the team and try and keep us engaged and training in this difficult period for everybody.
Well, Matt, thanks again, mate. I'll be speaking to you and hopefully seeing you very, 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 very shortly. See you later in the week. But thanks, everybody, for watching. Now, if this has been your first taste of racing on Zwift, or you're a seasoned racer or viewer, there is really something for everybody coming up over the next couple of weeks, as we've mentioned. You can ride and run and race stage 2 of the Tour of Watopia. Now, on Monday, coming up tomorrow, the elite women line up again for stage 3 of the women's Tour of Watopia Invitational Series, and it's Mary Wilkinson who is in the yellow jersey there, and we'll be back on Friday with the Mitchelton-Scott Affair as 2 mixed teams take on each other in a special one-off points race. But for me, for now, it's thanks very much. Ride on and look after yourselves. Cheers.